was thinking about this earlier. The murder of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, by their son. I'm going to read this off the phone just for facts. Now, I caught news of this earlier, and now I guess it's developed more. And that was when I woke up this morning that my dear friend, my dear brother sent this to me. I just had some general comments that I wanted to make on that. You know, I wanted to make this video and I forgot, and I was like, it kind of passed me by, but I really have some things to say. But I'm going to read this off first. And this is from the New York Post, and the title is Rob Reiner Dead Live Updates. Son Nick charged with murder. Hollywood mourns slain legend and wife. Legendary director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home. Their son Nick has been charged with murder after allegedly fatally stabbing the legendary director and his wife. Let me scroll down here. Nick Reiner, 32, who spent years in and out of rehab for drug addiction, is in custody on $4 million bail. On a $4 million bail. Let me see here. Rob Reiner's troubled son Nick has been charged with murder after allegedly fatally stabbing the famed director and his wife, Michelle, at their Los Angeles home, law enforcement sources said Monday. Nick Reiner, who has spent years in and out of rehab for drug addiction, is in custody on a $4 million bail. I just read that twice already. Sorry about that. He was detained Sunday night after police discovered the director of The Princess Bride and his longtime spouse has been hacked to death in their mansion, the sources said. A number of high-profile figures and Hollywood stars mourned the death of The Princess Bride director. Michelle and I are heartbroken by the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his beloved wife, Michelle, former President Barack Obama tweeted on Monday. I got a lot to say about that. As much lives as he's been responsible for, right? But I can't say that. You'll hate me for saying that. Rob's achievements in film and television gave us some of the most cherished stories on screen, he continued. What a huge loss, actor Bob Stiller wrote. Rob Reiner was one of my favorite directors, and I guess I think that's the end of it. Yeah, but I mean, it's not what they said about him that I want to speak about, but look at this. Here you are, famous, wealthy, which is not a crime. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you're famous, you're wealthy, you deserve. No, I would never say that. If you ply your craft and work hard at it, you deserve everything that you have. But I've seen this over the years, that when you have a child, which he's a 32-year-old man now, and I don't know the dynamics of it, I don't know the exact story, and especially behind the scenes, but whenever you have a son or a daughter, I don't know how he was raised, but let's just assume he was raised under his father and mother. I'm not sure if that's his mother. I'm not sure. I don't know. Or his blood mother. But here you are on drugs, which I'm not blaming you for, right? But you have a drug habit. You are homeless for many years. And you have a father of means who can provide for you. Well, what does that tell me? Either he's a prick or he's showing tough love. Because you can have a child addict that grows into adulthood that wants you to enable them in their addiction because you have the money, right? Which is wrong. That's your addiction. And parents want to help. And I don't know, again, the inside story with this, but I will say this, that let's just take it from a general type of thing. After a time, in most cases, and in many cases that I've seen, you push the limits of that love and you say, hey, listen, I'm going to help you out this time, but you better really be about it, because I'm not going to sit here and let somebody drag me through decades of an addiction and the heartbreak and everything. And there's always reasons for it. I do have a heart for people who are addicted to drugs, but they have to be the ones to want to get up out of it. It's not going to happen unless they are determined to get up out of it. I know this personally because, as many here know, I have a brother who's older than me by 11 years, and he's always been on drugs, right? Not to put him down, but he's the greatest con man out of New York City. He can talk you, he's slick, knows every trick in the book. And he knew how to push my mother's buttons to get out of her what he wanted as far as money or resources. So I've seen this playbook play out, and I have no sympathy to the manipulators. I don't, because I see how it can run a person down. I see how it can drain a person who you prostitute their love for you, and you manipulate them to continue you being funded on your addiction journey. I don't dislike any addicts, but I know through the game, right? And I can see an addict before I even know that they were taking drugs. I can sniff the movements because I know it well. And maybe they were at a point where, listen, we've helped you, but you have to do it on your own. Because I can't see a father or mother wanting or allowing their son to just be out there in the street like that. There has to be more to it, because we know in Hollywood there's so much drug addiction, so much rehabs out there, and they could have easily, Now, there comes a point where that addict, who might be a child, can be very dangerous, because many of them will feel entitled to what you have and are very angry for you having what you have, and they will drain it down till you have nothing. And when you put your foot down and say, no, this is the last time, it's not going to happen again, well, guess what? That means no. So now maybe he's out there at the time, out in the street and homeless, and probably going to friends of the father to con them out of money before they knew that he was an addict. It's a whole backstory to this. It's not just where he's an addict and he just decided to go and kill them, right? There had to be a build-up. And I feel that he ran out of options. He ran out of options as far as family, friends, family, connections, and he probably had a lot of connections to his father. And they all dried up because, they can do what they do really good as far as finagling and convincing you. It's like they have these magic powers of, if they were a salesman, they'd get all the sales. They'd have you buying stuff that you don't even want to buy, So that's what I think, And I've been through it, observing it, and it's a tragedy. Now look at him. His parents are dead. He murdered them. How are you going to murder your parents, man? I mean, granted, I don't know if that is his biological mother. I don't know. But the father, he's the father. But still, whether it's a biological mother or not, that is a mother figure to you. If it's not, how could you take a knife and start to chop up your father? Do you know the pain involved with a knife? To me, a knife is more vicious than a gunshot wound. I mean, it goes inside you and twists around, and there's no one way to cleanly stab somebody. No. It's rubbing up against bone and nerves, and you're feeling all kind of things. Oh, man. Then you did one, and then you're going to do the other one. And how did it escalate? Did they let you in? Did you break in? Were you allowed in the house? Was it an argument? Did you make demands? And they said no. So you said, okay, I'm going to kill you. Now, guess what? He's not homeless now. He'll have a place to live and meals. And depending on the facility, I'll say it this way, he'll get no drugs. But then again, depending on the facility, because most facilities out here in America, you can get drugs smuggled in. There's all kind of ways of getting everything you want, depending on the facility. So let's see. But what does he deserve? I don't know what the laws are out there, but do you kill him? Do you keep him alive and take care of him? Like, how do you deal with that? I mean, your own flesh and blood. Killing is no less, or unaliving, excuse me, YouTube. It's no less that if you did it to a stranger, but which is still horrific for any reason except self-defense. Now listen, if I'm hemmed up in the corner and you got knives, whether it's one of you or 3 or 4 of you, and I have a knife, we're going to chop until there's no more chopping, and I'm going to come out of that alive. But that was the case. Me, personally, I'm laid back. I couldn't hurt a fly. But I can do damage if I have a reason to, if you touch me or my loved ones, or in my inner circle, or somebody on my watch that I see is innocent. But I'll do it in a heartbeat. Eat dinner, have a nice sleep, enjoy myself, whatever. No guilt. But I could never do that to anybody. There's no reason in the world, and I believe it was because of drugs or the resentments from not being able to get anything. And could you imagine the look on their faces at that age? What do they say, 78 years old? And she was 68 years old? I don't care if you were 20 years old. Getting stabbed up is a rough thing. That drug rage that one gets into when they see the world only, and this is the thing we have to understand, and this is what I've learned from personal experience, that they're gone. They're not the person that you knew, but they have access to the connection to you, meaning that they have been gutted. That one that you love, when they're far gone, right? When they're far gone to do something like this, that one that you love doesn't exist anymore. You see the face. They can talk to you about memories from the past and try to appeal to you to get money out of you. They can shapeshift and be that person. It's almost like the old episode of Star Trek, where I forgot what the episode's name was, but Captain Kirk was kind of hiding from this big man. It was an alien. I think his name was Rock. And Rock was chasing him down. He had these big shoulders, big. It was actually Lurch from the Addams Family, but he was on Star Trek, right? And so Rock was running up the steps, and he knew Captain Kirk was close by, maybe higher up on the stairwell. So Captain Kirk was quiet. So Rock produced a woman's voice. And he was like, Captain Kirk, is a way to lure him from hiding so he can get him. Like, I'm not a woman, I'm Rock, I'm gonna get you. So this is how a lot of these drug addicts do. They don't change their voice, but they appear to you or appeal to you as a parent by presenting that child or that youngster that you love. It's a certain tone. And I've seen situations where there wasn't any drugs involved, but it might have been a daughter trying to talk to the mother to get something out of her. Mommy, I know. And this daughter, she's already out there having sex and doing all kind of stuff, but she's trying to appeal to the mother like a little girl so she can get what it is that she wants. It's the same principle. Mommy, please can I have so and so and so, manipulating. And the mother picks up this thing and she can't resist because, oh, that's my little baby, right? So the drug addict knows how to appeal to you on so many deep psychological levels. And there's a big wasp over there trying to get through the screen in my window and hover around. And me and him been battling for a while because I've been looking at him. He's trying to build a nest over there. As soon as I'm done, we're going to take care of that. Don't take care of that. They're so aggressive. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, but that's how they do the manipulation. And if it doesn't work, and they get fed up because you're not giving in, and that presentation doesn't work anymore, they lose it. Because they try to make you see them as they were, that adorable little child or that little adorable connection. And if that doesn't work, you never know what can happen. But look what happened with Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Whew. Life is precious. Be careful of the proximity of people around you. And I would have rather, and I don't want anybody's death, so please understand what I mean by this. I would have rather Rob Reiner pull out a pistol. If he knew that this son was, look, pop him in his leg first or whatever. But if you got me cornered where this knife is coming at me to kill me, and I know that, it would hurt me, but I had to do you. God gave me my life. He gave me my life with my talents and abilities and my mission. And I'm not letting anybody stop that. Mama, daddy, child, neighbor, whoever, right? But you have to see how they're trying to manipulate you. They're gonna, it's a big wasp. What the heck? You might see him flying behind me. But yeah, the manipulation game. And it runs deep, and you have to come to a point of exhaustion where you're just not going to do it anymore. Because in the case of my mother, that's really what took her up out of here. Realizing all these years that my brother has been playing her. And she knew, but she always gave him a chance. And he always knew how to present that facade of the son that's smart. He's college educated, brilliant, smart. Like I said, he can talk on any level, from the corporate boardroom to the street corner, and appeal to everybody. Charismatic. Made me look like a fool. But I don't know what this thing is that makes this. Let me tell you something. And I've said this before, and I'm not going to try this experiment. I'm not going to do it. But you can hold me down at gunpoint and put a gun to my head. I say, Lance, if you don't smoke this crack, I'm gonna blow your head off. And they already showed me by doing that to 3 other people who didn't smoke it, and I had to smoke it. And they made sure I inhaled and held it, and whatever I would feel, whatever it is that these people feel. But I'm gonna tell you this, I would not go back to that, because my character, my foundation, who I am as a man, after all these years of life lessons and experience and things, I'd feel that blast, whatever it is that people say is more intense than sex, whatever, but I ain't doing it. You ain't turning me into that. I know what a tall glass of fresh juice tastes like. I know what it's like for a beautiful sunrise and a beautiful sunset. I know what it's like on so many different levels of living life. And you mean I'm gonna let that thing take my whole total focus, and all I'm thinking about is getting that one thing, when there's so many other pleasures and joys out here to enjoy? Are you crazy? Not me. Not me. I got too much balls for that. Sorry for the reference, but no. I ain't going out like that. And I'm aware of these things. I know there's something to it, but it's demonic. And it's not going to have any kind of foothold on me. It's not going to have any kind of hold on me. You know, for you to pick up a bowling ball, you got to find those 3 little holes to put your hand in. If I'm a bowling ball, crack would not find them holes, because I don't have the gaps in the holes. Can you pick up a bowling ball with one hand with no holes in it? You can't. You can touch it, but you need that way of getting in. I'm too airtight right now. I've been too airtight all my life. and discipline and focus. And I know there are people out there that have discipline and focus, but me, I'm just one you're not going to get that way. Oh man, but that Hollywood environment is different environments also. There are different reasons why people get into drugs. There's different reasons and voids that people have when they find themselves indulging in that, and they're trying to fill a void of something or escape some kind of pain. My heart goes out to the people who have been SA'd, molested, sexually molested. And it's a pain that goes, that's a pain that I can see why people try to escape that when they haven't had therapy or dealt with those things. There's a lot of horrific things going on out here in the world. And again, I thank my parents for raising me a certain way. And, you know, my mother was young when she had my brother, long before she met my father. And I don't know what happened, but we have to move on, life goes on, but just be careful, because it's not always a stranger. It could be a family member, it could be a child, it could be anybody, you know? And it's usually from people in your close circles where you have the most flack. So I have my life lessons, I know that, and it's kept me straight for many, many decades. And there goes that wasp again. He just knows, because see, he tried to get up on the 3rd floor by that other balcony over there, and he just working hard over here, but I got something for him, you know. Listen, you know, Wasp, I ain't Rob Reiner. I'll come over there and I'll snuff you. I'm not saying that it was his fault. Maybe that's a poor taste joke, but you know I'm crazy, but I didn't mean nothing by that. Anyway, let me go over here and deal with this bad boy. And we have Neil Frazier's show tonight, and by the time you see this, probably, you know, it might be on or whatever. You know how I do. When I wake up, I'll do some more content. Let me know what kind of content you want, what kind of conversations and things we can talk about. I'm here. I'm chilling. Let's make it happen. Anyway, much love to you all. LanceScurv out. On to the next one. Peace. Thank you for coming through. Bye-bye. you.